Welcome to What If Thinkers. Thank you so much for choosing to spend your time here. You're very welcome and your input is greatly appreciated. This channel is a space created to explore different ways of thinking and looking at things we think we know well. What if things aren't the way we've been taught they are? What if looking at them differently actually helps us to improve ourselves and our lives, whatever those things happen to be at any given time? Using mythology, stories from popular culture and other mediums, we will analyse what those who came before us have to teach us, whether the lessons were intended or not. Let us explore together and see what we discover. Before we get started with our first story, we need to quickly clarify what mythology is and what its intended use is. We all love stories, right? Of course we do. That's why we're here and not somewhere else. We love to listen to them, especially when the narrator does the voices and they're good. And we love to read them too. Stories are in our blood and bones. But are they meant to just be entertainment? No, they're exercises for our brains. A way to take our brains to the gym, if you like, a mental workout. So there isn't just one way to interpret them, even though we've been misled into believing that this is the case. What we'll be doing throughout the Practical Mythology series is finding out how to make the most of these exercises by breaking them down a little, unlocking the various meanings they hold, applying them to our daily lives and the situations that arise so that we can learn to make the most of our reflections and grow. A while after each podcast, we'll create a follow-up one that collates your comments on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter and Instagram so that we can all learn from each other. That means that each myth will be a 2-part mini-series. How long the follow-up takes is up to you. The more comments you make, the faster we'll do the follow-up. Myths are also a way for us to learn important life lessons in ways that are non-confrontational and removed from the immediate moment, so less emotional. So if a situation arises that reminds you of a story, maybe telling the story with a couple of minor adjustments will help to smooth oil over troubled waters diplomatically. Or maybe remembering the story will help you to avoid making the same mistakes one of the characters made. Myths help us to be more mindful in a very human yet unstressful way. Myths work using metaphors, symbolism, archetypes and tropes to examine people's behaviour, inner selves and a plethora of situations that humans have experienced since time began. If you would like to learn more about symbolism and archetypes, pop over to Lucifer Means Lightbringer's channel. He's done huge amounts of work unlocking the symbolism and archetypes expertly written into a Song of Ice and Fire. Here, we're going to begin with Aesop's fables and expand to other myths later. We might do a little Game of Thrones one day, if there's an appetite to look at George R.R. Martin's books from our point of view. But we're not ready to go there yet. We need to learn to walk before we can take on a full-size marathon. Oh, and just a little note for all you younglings out there who think it's fun to say nasty things to people with new channels. New channels doesn't mean new to YouTube. Or new to the interwebs. I remember the days when there were only 12 real people using the net and I was 3 of them. Grown-ups play nice. So if you haven't learnt to play nice yet, I'm going to assume you're virtually playing truant from school and ignore you because under 13s aren't allowed to be on social media. In our first series episode, we'll be exploring The Fox and the Grapes using the out-of-copyright Vernon Jones translation available for free on Project Gutenberg. It'll be linked in the description of every episode of the series. Thank you for listening, take good care, and we'll see you next time when we'll be thinking, what if, again.